Hi, I'm Kelly Wallace, and welcome to Eye to Eye. Katie is on assignment. News of financial giant Lehman Brothers bankruptcy and the Merrill Lynch buyout sent the stock market tumbling. Jeff Glor spoke to one financial advisor about what the news means for investors.
How bad is it?
You know, as my father always likes to say, it's never as good or as bad as you think it is. So we had a rough weekend, a rough day today, but this is part of being an investor. This is what happens when you invest. You have good times and you have some bad times.
Clients have been calling you all morning, all day. What do you say to them?
Well, I think it's the same thing that I would say to anybody, which is if you are a long-term investor, you don't need your money for 5 or 10 years. Ostensibly, you went into this period with a diversified portfolio. Therefore, you shouldn't make huge changes. It's very emotional. I know you feel like you want to cash out and put your money in the mattress because you don't trust an institution, but that's not in your best interest if you are a long-term investor.
What do we do with our 401ks?
Here's the greatest news if you are in an employer-sponsored plan, a 401k, a 403b, a 457. You're buying at a 20% discount from last year. I mean, really, you felt fine a year ago when the market was 20% higher, plowing money for your long-term investments, correct? Now you're at a 20% discount. Keep putting your money in. This is the disciplined time that really means that you might be able to make more money down the pike. Now, I want to back up 1 second. If you are a person who cannot sleep at night, because you took too much risk going into this period, then you may need to get rid of some of your riskier assets. But again, hopefully you went in with a diversified portfolio, and remember, remind yourself as much as possible, don't fall prey to my emotions. Don't fall prey to my emotions. Stick with your original game plan.
Is it worth it all suspending the paycheck deductions?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you know what? Hey. Absolutely not. This is the time where you should be putting more money in. In fact, I would suggest to people, here's the time. You want a good tip right now? Put more money into your retirement plan. If you haven't maxed out, at the time you feel like you want to throw up because you're so scared is the time you should probably add an extra percentage or two to your 401k plan.
What does this mean for people trying to borrow money, especially for a home?
You know, there's a strange bit of good news here. We've already forgotten about Fannie and Freddie, right? That was last week's news. You know,
Seriously.
Fannie and Freddie is like the old brown, and now we're into the new black. Fannie and Freddie being nationalized, being taken over by Uncle Sam, basically, has allowed mortgage rates to drop. And we've had a really significant drop in mortgage rates over the past 10 days. So if you're going out and shopping for a mortgage, you're going to get a sub 6% mortgage for a 30-year fixed rate. That's great news. The problem still remains. You have to have good credit. If you do not have good credit, it's going to be harder and harder to get a loan. It doesn't mean you won't get it. It just means it becomes more costly.
How do institutions this big, this historic, fail in such spectacular fashion?
You know, I have one word for you: greed. And it is not just the greed of the institution. I think we had a perfect storm of greed. And I don't want to point my finger at Dick Fold at Lehman Brothers or Jimmy Kane at Bear Stearns. We had a perfect storm where regulators, congressmen, CEOs, C-suite people, investors, borrowers, lenders, we all got too greedy. We went to that frat party, we partied our butts off, and now we're paying the price. And this is a big hangover. So if you want to know the root of it, think about your own financial life. When do I make the biggest mistakes? When I get really greedy. And what is the price I pay for that? I move over into fear, and now I'm immobilized. And that's really what has happened here. It will get through this. We will get through this. I want everyone to realize we've been through bad periods. It may not have looked like this, but we will get through this.